Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video as I approach kind of my I don't know, my journey, my inevitable uh, confrontation with myself, and therefore what I need to say, which I'm kind of worried about. Um, Eventually standing up for what I believe in. After the 4th of July here, I'm gonna definitely make a video, and I just kind of want to stretch my comfort zone out a little bit with it's a perfect segue into the topic of this discussion, which is about boundaries and boundaries, the ability to say no, and the unrelenting amount of cowardice in our society right now. As I have this green thing on my head, hope I get taken very seriously during this video, but it's a topic I bring up a lot because, in my opinion and from my perspective, it's the answer to all the problems right now. Is yeah, um, I understand why. I mean, because I've been that man for a while now, the man of cowardice and lack of boundaries, and yeah, I think that it's whether by design or just the path of least resistance or whatever, convenience, money, whatever the reason our society has leaned into this demasculating nature against men and fostering a society with just, I don't know, just like, it seems like everywhere you look, it's telling men not to be men, and not to you know have principles and have boundaries and have standards. And I think it's never been more important. I truly believe by the end of this year, it's just going to get worse. I think by the end of this election, we're going to have, it's going to be there's going to be, I don't see any other way. I don't see how, I'd say it's more likely that we're going to have a COVID like, whatever, BLM like one of these very historic, very permeating moments in our society again here, as we've been very, or I should say this, we have the opportunity to. In other words, if we don't have that, that'll be checkmate on America. I mean, that seems like hyperbole, but if you have intuition at any level or any kind of like truth in your own mind and have any strength at all left as a man, you see what's happening in the society. And if you really, I mean, to the extent that you have time to think about it, I know it's almost, it's twofold. It's, if you're working a lot, you're arguably more healthy because you're doing, you're keeping busy and you're not having to distract yourself. So in some ways you can be more mentally healthy than someone. I put myself in the category. I tend to go down rabbit holes and spend a lot of time thinking about stuff, and I always have, and I think I always will, because it's definitely who I am, and it's definitely who I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna lean into that. But having said that, I hope when the next thing happens, enough men are gonna, step up. And I don't say that in any other framing other than a framing of love and understanding, and principles. And boundaries are our job. Like, we are here to stand up for what we believe in, and to the extent that you believe in humanity, like, that's going to be the case until we have robots, owning us, and we have a prison planet with CBDCs, whatever dystopian framing you want to put into it. I believe we're at a moment. I mean, we always have that in society. We have a degree of what people are willing to put up with. There's an Overton window, and then, well, that's a way of manipulating people. But we're in, like, we've reached pure clown world for anyone that has any brains at all, or anything left in their brain besides just a bunch of poo and mush. We're full clown world, and I mean, I don't believe elections matter. At this point, they are here for I always go to the Carlin. It's the illusion of safety, the illusion of freedom. We have all these choices. We have all these meaningless choices. That's always been the American, way to pretend like we have a choice. Not always, but very, in the last 50 years. Regardless, if for no other reason than, how do I say this better? I believe that if for no other reason than just to create a better version of yourself, you got to be able to say no. I don't care politically where you lean. I don't care about any of that. What I do believe in is, as long as we are human, and there are men and women. If you can't even agree in differences in men and women, then the conversation's over. But if you're in this video, you're probably looking for truth, or you probably are as mentally ill as I am. Anyway, I believe as long as there's men and women, men are here to say no. I mean, as much as society is trying to gaslight and manipulate and keep men down, I'm sorry, that sounds so wussy to say that, but I totally believe it. And I see it in every single aspect of life. It's been the only thing that's been my main thing my whole life, is having the mission, having something, having something good to die for, and make it beautiful to live. Queens of the Stone Age, like all these things that I think is the deepest level of being a man. Sacrificing yourself for your family, sacrificing your happiness for your family, sacrificing your happiness and not sanity. Don't go too far. I already did that. But sacrificing your happiness, let's say, for society, and your family and people you care about. Let's just say people you care about first and foremost. If you can't do that, you're not a man. I think it just starts with that. And I think it's important to start, working that muscle a lot more and more, and saying no and having boundaries. I don't care. You start with just whatever. People in your household, I don't know. I don't want to start giving advice. People have different relationships, but doing difficult shit, that's a variant of it's part of that muscle. It's not just about having boundaries and saying no. It's about doing difficult shit. If you can do something difficult, just, even if it's being a good, going out of your way to help someone, and that was hard for you before, and you're afraid of community, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's something that, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that's difficult for you will make things. I start with working out. Working out, cold baths, those two things are absolutely a game changer for your pathways and to get out of comfort. And when you're able to do that, you're able to say no. If you can't do that, you can't do the difficult stuff, you won't be able to say no. Your brain won't be able to. You just can't. It's too difficult of a thing, and that's the problem with our society now. Again, I think by the end of the year, it's going to be, I think if there isn't, and this time around, I think that if there isn't an issue and there is an outrage on either side or whatever, and I'm not calling for any kind of violence or anything. I think that it would show, to me, it would seem to be checkmate, and it would show at scale that we have a ambivalence in the country that is essentially a collective moment of giving up on everything, and I get it. People are just giving up. I gave up. I've given up in a lot of ways, but there's certain things you got to just pick something, right? Right now, it's never been easier to have nothing, just be burr, 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 and then you just kind of video games, whatever, go to work, porn. You try to meet somebody, it doesn't work. You give up on that. There's things that just, I get it. There's a difference between giving up and society, and waiting for society to change. Not saying that you should wait, but understanding that the pendulum is going to swing back, and are you going to be in the right side of society? Are you going to be in the right framing to say no to whatever's coming, whatever, if it is coming? I don't want to be a weirdo, paranoid guy, but one thing's for certain. I mean, there's going to be elections at the end of the year, and I don't really believe that matters so much. It's the implications of how it goes. If there's shady shit, if there's a lot of weirdness going on, like, then intuition's everything to me. I don't need to know what the exact facts are. If I can feel evil energy, you can feel, we are human beings. We didn't always have speech. Vibration is a thing, and you can feel energy. You can feel when someone's being fake with you and when they're being genuine. And having said that, when this election happens and we have a lot of political BS happening, a lot of obfuscation, a lot of smoke and mirrors and things that are probably going to distract from certain things, or whatever we've done previously, since the beginning of America, we've done stuff like that, propagandistic stuff. And anyway, I'm being a little tangential again, but essentially this video is just about, you got to say no. Try it. Say no. I'm not doing that. There's nothing. You have to have what you believe in. That's depression by itself. I'm learning that. I'm learning why I've been such a funk. Like, there's a million things that are objective, but under the surface, the subjectivity, the under the surface, the guts of the depression is, I believe, for most men, I know it's the case for me, is not standing up for what I believe in and being a fucking, and having my line in the sand about what I believe to be true and what I am willing to die, like what hill I'm willing to die on. I mean, we don't live forever. There's no point in being, a sheep and a coward, and it's just going to make everything worse. Like, what is everyone needs to decide for themselves. Like, Boardwalk Empire, everyone has to decide for themselves how much hell they're willing to live with. And I don't have much more patience. I don't have much more room. I've already ran out, and now I'm pushing back. Pushing back against things I don't believe to be true. And respecting myself in the process and respecting others. But it's like, I get a little personal for a second here, but it's like, it feels to me like society, at least where I live now, feels like the toxicity that was my childhood, now at scale. In other words, it's a boundary crossing, gaslighting, toxic, narcissistic, immature, and malevolent society, in the same way I had to grow up. And that's why I can't stop this. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't live like this. I won't live like this. I will call out the BS. I will call out the evil. I will call out the hypocrisy. And I hope you guys do the same. I mean, it's speech. Silence is not violence, and speech is not violence. Violence is violence. So there's no difference between thinking and speaking. They're the same thing. They do the same thing in your brain. That's probably why people feel so messed up. If you can't say it how you feel, then how can you think how you feel? You would have to be able to convince yourself that you'd have to capitulate and gaslight yourself and lead into gaslighting, even though if you can't say it, right, you're afraid, fear, then you can't think it either. You need to say it to be able to think it. Remind yourself what you are thinking by saying it. That is important. And that's it. Mean what you say what you mean. I'm going to do it. I would be the biggest coward ever if I were not to. I have nothing to lose and everything to gain in the most positive way possible is how I mean that. And in a way that I look as a what do you call it? It's a call to adventure. It's a call to change for me. To me it's very positive, and I'm happy that I've like kind of gone monk mode. You know, when you have all this superficial crap, it's the materialistic crap, and you're scared to lose it, like that fight, like the narrator, right? Like it's just like I was close to being complete. Like it's so cliche, but it's so true, and it's good to remind yourself that like you don't need shit. You don't need anything. Actually, it hurts you if you don't have your sense of self. So and your pride, not pride, but you don't have your honor and your integrity. So without honor and integrity, you got shit. All right, bros. Have a good rest of your day.